Hi students, this is VLSI Design. Today's our topic is ad hoc testing presented by R. Subhashamani Devi. After completion of this ad hoc testing, students will be able to what is an interconnect, state the need for testing. Here we are having many test approaches. First one, ad hoc testing, scan-based testing and self-testing. Problems is getting harder. If suppose we are using Why we are using the testing means increasing complexity and heterogeneous combination of modules in system on a chip. That's why problems are also getting harder. That's why we are going to testing the chip. Advanced packaging and assembly techniques extend problem to the board level. Design of testability. No single methodology solves all testing problems. Yes, it's correct. If a single methodology is not capable to solve all the problems in the single chip, that's why we are using the many testing technologies. No single TFT techniques is effective for all kinds of circuit. Each circuits have different technique. That's why we are using different TFT techniques is also available in the techniques. DFT techniques are ad hoc techniques, structured techniques, full scan, partial scan. First one, ad hoc DFT guidelines. Employ test points to enhance controllability and observability. Here we are having the test points are control points and then observation points. Each control point and observation points we are having the ad hoc testing in the circuit. Here denote that CP1, CP2, CP3, TP4 are the control points and then OP is the observation point. Ad hoc DFT guidelines. Here, second point of this one is partition large circuits into small subcircuits to reduce test generation cost using muxes and or scan time. Yes, here we are having the separate single blocks into smaller subcircuits, then only easier to test the each and every part and reduce the risk also. Design circuits to be easily initializable. Disable internal one-shot monostables during the test due to difficulty for tester to remain synchronized without the test. Next one, disable internal oscillators and clocks during the test. Partition large counters into smaller one. It's already discussed one. Larger portion is subdivided into smaller portions and then it will compatible to the testing portion. Avoid the use of redundant logic. Provide logic and break global feedback path. It will break the global feedback path to reduce the difficulty to test the circuits. Keep analog and digital circuits physically apart. It will keep distance from analog circuits and digital circuits. It will differentiate from analog and digital. Then only it will easy to test the separate portions. If analog portions testing in another method and digital is having the one more method, that's why we are having separate portions to testing. Avoid the use of asynchronous logic. Avoid diagnostic ambiguity groups such as wired or wired AND junctions and high fan-out nodes. Fan-out means maximum output produced gate will called the fan-out. Fan-in means maximum input given to which gate is capable to access maximum input means that is called fan in. Consider test requirements, pin illumination and tri-stating, etc. Then high fault coverage not guaranteed. Manual test generation still required. Design iterations also required in the ad hoc testing motions. After that, the block diagram of ad hoc test. Normally, we are having the memory, processor and input-output base, and then here data and address buses. It is a normal method. After that, we are using to build the ad hoc testing method only. Here memory element, after that processor. In between the memory and processor, we are having the ad hoc test block. Here select is acting as the ad hoc test portion. This is the inbuilt in memory and processor. After completion of ad hoc testing, we can able to answer this question. List the design steps required for testing in CMOS chip design. Thank you to students.